Hey guys, Rafi here from the Endgame Investor, and today we're going to talk about global, systemically important banks. How do they operate? Why do they all seem to collapse at the same time? What is their business model? Well, there is one episode of South Park that explains their business model pretty well. Here's a clip.
Present day America #1. Yeah, America! Take our jobs!
Anyway, we do know that the Federal Reserve has sent about $3.1 billion in a dollar swap, an emergency dollar swap, to the Swiss National Bank. What is a swap? A swap is when the Fed prints up currency, prints up dollars, and exchanges them for foreign currency with another central bank, which prints up its own currency and gives it to the Fed, and they swap them. This is probably speculation, is that Credit Suisse, the least healthy, global, systemically important bank, needs some kind of a bailout because interest rates are destroying its portfolio. So I looked into its portfolio of derivatives, and the size of it is about $17.4 trillion. And what is the biggest portion of that notional value? That is an $8 trillion pile of swaps. Let's look at it. We see here on page 372 of 478 in Credit Suisse's latest annual report as of the end of 2021, they had $8.8 trillion in notional amounts of swaps. The units here are in billions of CHF or Swiss francs, and Swiss francs and dollar are pretty much at parity right now. So it's about $8.8 trillion of notional value in swaps. Now, what the hell is a swap? Well, a swap is, let's say, a company issues floating rate debt but wants to be protected from interest rates. And so they make a deal with the bank to swap floating rate for fixed rate. And if interest rates go up, the company wins. And if interest rates go down, the bank wins. So these are basically those contracts. They're bets on interest rates. So if a bank guarantees a fixed rate for a company that it is swapping with and interest rates go up, the bank is going to get creamed on those swaps. And now, normally, under normal circumstances, if a bank is issuing a swap to another company, it can protect itself by swapping for that contract with another bank or another financial institution to ensure that its bets won't destroy its book. And so it keeps its book balanced by insuring itself with another bank, and so on and so forth. And that other bank can insure itself with another bank. And then you have a circle of insurance. But the problem is when interest rates rise, as they have, and they've risen spectacularly so far, and there's a long way to go because interest rates in real terms are still deeply negative, with global inflation rates in the double digits and interest rates still about 4 or 5%. If Credit Suisse's swaps lose value and now they have a hole in their portfolio, but they can't exercise the insurance that they use to insure those swaps in another bank because that other bank is just as sick, then you have a collapsing pyramid of circling central banks or other banks or GSIB banks or all these financial institutions that insured each other with one another's contracts. And basically you have that South Park picture again. And so who are the only institutions that can rescue these global systemically important banks from collapse, by which the entire banking system of the entire planet will go kaput? The central banks can just print up more money to make these balance sheets whole again through emergency swap lines. Isn't that ironic? Emergency currency swaps to save financial interest rate swap positions.
Now that is irony!
Well, central banks will keep hiking because the Fed will keep hiking until the system does break and the entire pile of whatever is going on in South Park collapses into nothingness. And this big pile of other global systemically important banks threatens to go kaput. Believe me, the Fed will print like there is no tomorrow for the dollar, because once it starts doing that one more time, there won't be a tomorrow for the dollar.
There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
And so I say to Credit Suisse, enjoy your fun while it lasts, because it's not going to last much longer. It doesn't matter which of these GSIBs falls first, because they're all doing the same thing in their little writhing balls, incestuously insuring one another with one another's balance sheet. And once they all fall at the same time, all the insurance policies go to hell. This is Rafi with the Endgame Investor, thanking Matt Stone and Trey Parker for their amazing show and teaching us about global systemically important banks.
Everyone back in the pile.
Back in the pile, everyone. We're going back to the pile.
Jump in!
Come on,
Let's get
everybody.
down. We're going back to the pile.
Yeah, come on.
If you enjoyed this video, consider signing up for a 2-week free trial of the Endgame Investor, where I use these flowery metaphors quite often. Or you can become my patron on Patreon, where despite the seeming vulgarity of the subject matter I have covered in this heretofore video, is heretofore a word? I do provide biblical commentary for the religious-minded and non-religious-minded alike who enjoy the Bible for its cultural messages on monetary policy, government, and economics. This is Rafi, the Endgame Investor, and I'll see you guys soon as the holiday is nearing its end and I will get back onto a regularly scheduled programming.